Scott Harrison, thank you so much for joining me today. You are the founder and CEO of Charity Water, a nonprofit organization bringing clean and safe drinking water to people in developing countries. You've been working on this ambitious goal to solve the global water crisis, and I have a lot of respect for what you've been doing since you first launched in 2006. And you have this forward-thinking approach to really accepting and now holding Bitcoin donations for charity. It's called the Bitcoin Water Trust. You announced this news at the 2021 Bitcoin conference in Miami earlier this month. Walk us through it.
Yeah, well, so thanks so much for having me, Haley. This will be fun. Charity Water's been on a mission for almost 15 years to bring clean water to every single person on the planet, and we're a long way from success. You know, today 785 million people, about 1 in 10 people alive on planet Earth, people are drinking dirty water, unsafe, contaminated water. We think that number should be 0. So we fund a variety of solutions and technologies across 29 different nations, all with the goal of just making sure people have the most basic need in life met. So we've raised over $550 million from a global community. We have helped almost 13 million people get clean water now since we started. And we were early in accepting Bitcoin as a way to move our mission forward. So in 2014, we actually started asking people not only just to give us cash, but also to consider giving us Bitcoin to help people get clean water. And, it was interesting. Tony Hawk was one of the first, he was actually the first person to give us Bitcoin, and he gave us 5. And we were excited about that. We sold those Bitcoin for $312 each. And we helped some people get clean water thanks to that $1,500 donation. Over the following years, we took in 569 Bitcoin. And just like is the charitable best practice, when a charity gets stock or any asset, you sell it and you put the money to work immediately to help people. So we sold the 569 Bitcoin for $4 million, about $4 million, which is enough to help 100,000 people get clean water. So certainly not nothing, right? That's an impact. That's 5 Madison Square Gardens full of people who now have clean water because of those 569 Bitcoin. But had we waited a few years, had we actually not liquidated them and turned them into fiat, just over the last kind of 6 weeks wild swings, we would have had somewhere between $25 and $36 million, enough to help 600,000 people to 900,000 people. So a much greater impact. And the more we learned about the technology, the more we started to develop relationships with people in the Bitcoin community, we realized a new paradigm was needed. And it's a pretty simple idea, the Bitcoin Water Trust. We're going to take your Bitcoin now, and we're going to HODL it until at least 2025. We're going to take all this short-term volatility out of the picture. We're going to lock up those Bitcoin. And in 2025 and beyond, we believe we're going to be able to have an exponential impact helping people get clean water with this really valuable asset.
So in 2014, when you had first accepted that Bitcoin from Tony Hawk, was that the first time you had ever heard of the cryptocurrency?
No, I met Pete Brigger and Wences Cesaris and some people right before that who had kind of put it on my radar, which is why we actually, worked to be able to accept Bitcoin on our website. At the time, I think we were using Stripe for a minute and some different places. We eventually, started using Gemini over the years, primarily to accept that Bitcoin. But I think, we looked at it as maybe you would give us Apple stock and say, hey, I did well. My Apple stock appreciated. Here's some Apple stock. Turn this into clean water for people in Malawi or in Ethiopia or in India. It's not traditional for a charity to take any view on any asset that's given. We believe Bitcoin is different. And we also believe that the one thing we know about the Bitcoin community is there is a universal long view, right? There's a universally held view by people who are holding Bitcoin, that this will increase in value over time. And what we heard was, I don't want to give you a Bitcoin today because it's going to be worth way more in the future. Come talk to me in 3 years. Come talk to me in 5 years. So we said, well, what if we could do both? I'm not sure I'm going to be able to come and talk to you in 3 and 5 years, whether you'll still care about our mission of clean water then. But what if you give me that Bitcoin now, or give me that donation now, and we will honor your intent and we'll lock it up for one full cycle. We'll get past the May 2024 halving, and then in 2025 and beyond, we'll start unlocking the trust and helping people get clean water.
So you launched on June 4th. To date, how many Bitcoin have you received as part of the Bitcoin Water Trust?
Yeah, well, we launched with this idea of the founding 100. Could we go get 100 whales to give us 1 Bitcoin each? And then I went to Cameron and Tyler at Gemini, and they offered a 50 Bitcoin match. So they said the first 50 that you bring in the trust, the minute you hit 50, we'll double it. And then you'll have 100. So we've been at work for a couple weeks now. I got to talk about this main stage at the conference. And so far we have 49 committed members out of the founding 100. So we're one away in commitments from unlocking that match. And so far 37 people have already donated their Bitcoin on the website. A bunch of people are unlocking them from cold storage. They're moving them to be able to donate. So we're at 99 Bitcoin committed right now, which is about $4 million today, enough to help 100,000 people get clean water. But again, we believe a much greater impact in the future.
And Gemini is providing the cold storage custody for the trust. Is that correct?
They are. Yep.
So you call it the HODL model, right? Or the HODL model. Hold on for dear life, as is common in the crypto sphere. The important differentiator I'm hearing here is the concept of committing to the 5-year HODL compared to selling the crypto immediately upon receipt, as most charities typically do with all non-cash assets they receive. You and your board must think that obviously the potential price appreciation and upside outweigh the potential downside. Is that right? Because there is big risk.
That's right. I mean, look, that's right. There's a risk here, but we believe the opportunity to reach out to a Bitcoin potential philanthropist with this model, and this is what we've heard time and time again. It's interesting, from just so far from the 49 people that have committed one, I've heard almost universally, I would not have given you a Bitcoin today if I knew you were going to sell it. Maybe I would have given you cash, maybe I would have given you, stock or something else. But I would not have given you a Bitcoin if you were going to sell it for $36,000 or $39,000 or whatever the price was at the moment. So yeah, we believe the potential upside absolutely outweighs the downside here. Now, we're also running our fiat business. Charity Water will raise $100 million this year, and will help almost 2 million people get access to clean water. But the really exciting thing is, I would hope that this Bitcoin trust, as it gains momentum, and by the way, we're taking in fractional Bitcoin. People are giving 0.01, 0.05. We also, if you're watching today and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't give a Bitcoin, could you give $100 in Bitcoin or the equivalent? Because that $100 today could be worth 1,000 in the future, in 2025 and beyond. So we really want a lot of participation, and we're hoping as this trust gathers momentum, as more people become aware of it, that this could compete with the fiat business. This could actually help us grow exponentially. We've been one of the fastest growth charities in the world over the last 15 years, but we're not making a big enough impact. We're not helping enough people get clean water. 13 million out of 785 million, Haley, we've solved 1/65th of the problem. Okay, 1.6%. We want to do more than that. There are people in need right now who we know how to help. There are people suffering that don't need to be drinking dirty water. And I just believe that the future philanthropists, some of the most impactful philanthropists, are going to come from the Bitcoin community.
Hey, if you like this clip, be sure to check out the full interview and more only on realvision.com/crypto. It's 100% free. Sign up now.